Yo, what's going on, guys? This video I'm gonna be doing the Flashstep tutorial. You can find the showcase on my channel. It's the video right before this one. Basically what we're gonna have is it's kind of like it's like a Flashstep, but you can use it like 4 times and then it'll like recharge. So it's not like just a normal flash step. There's actually kind of like a meter that comes with it, so you could use it like now you could set like how many times you can do it consecutively, and then you'll be able to do that many flash steps in a row, and then it'll all like recharge back after you like don't use it for a second. You can change like all the settings and stuff, but yeah, that's how it's gonna work. So I've left the particles and the folders and the remote in a free model. I'll put it in the description, link to it in the description. And then once you get that, just put it in your replicated storage. Alright, so now we can get to the code. So go to your starter character script and just add a local script. And yeah. So as usual, we're gonna need to find the player, the character, the humanoid, and the root of the player. So this is how I would get those. Next, I'm just gonna grab some services. Oops. So here wrong thing. Yeah, so here are the services that we're gonna need. We're gonna need the user input service to detect like clicking and stuff. Replicated storage, where we're gonna be like keeping everything, and then the tween service to like do animations. And we're also going to quickly assign a couple of variables to the folder that we have and for effects and the remote itself. Great. So now we've got most of the values that we need. Now for the flash step meter, we're gonna need a GUI. So this is how I would do it. So first I would create a screen GUI. After that, I'll make a frame, and I'll just make this like the main frame, so it'll be it'll cover the entire screen. You don't need this technically, but for my tutorial I'm gonna be using it like this just in case we add more UIs to this later. And then I'd make it transparent, fully transparent, and then in the frame I'm gonna add a text label. For this tutorial, make sure you have this frame, but what I'm saying is if you're gonna make a UI, you technically don't need this. Just for this tutorial, I used it so I could move this and add more UI elements later. Easier. So now for this thing's size, make sure you use a scale, by the way. If you see this frame, I set the scale to 1 by 1, so it'll be 1 times the full length and 1 times the full height of your screen, so it'll cover the entire screen. Don't use offset because then it'll stay the same size no matter how large your screen is. So for this, let me see the size. I did 0.14 and then 0.1, so 0.14 and then 0.1. That's how big it is. And then I scaled, I think I set this text to text scaled, and you can change the font to whatever. And then what I had here was like it'll display like how many flash steps you have left, so like that could be what it says. We're gonna set that in script later, so you don't have to technically change this. And then I made it fully transparent, so background transparency to 1. And then the position, you can mess around with this. Mine was 0.02 and then 0.85. So it'll be like right here. Yeah, so now let's go back to the code, and we are going to need to reference what that GUI that we made, so here it is. And then we're gonna need a couple settings for this script. So the ones in all caps are the settings, and then these are just states and values that we're gonna use for like the code. So the base speed is like how fast you would normally walk, and then the total flash steps is how many flash steps you have. Technically you could set this to just the total flash steps. Last flash is like the last time you used it, so right now it's 0 because you haven't used it. Alright, so now let's do the input code, and the input code is pretty much the same every time. Basically it looks something like this. Oh, I forgot to add the parentheses. There you go. This basically means that if we detect a game processed input, so like someone typing in chat, then it'll cancel whatever it was going to do, so that we don't like proc anything when we're like typing in chat. Next, we're gonna need a couple conditions for us to use the flash step, and for mine I used the C key. You can change the key to whatever key you want, and then it'll check if it's on cooldown, which it isn't. If it isn't, then it'll continue, and then it'll check if you even have any flash steps left. So within there, we're gonna obviously set the cooldown to true, right? And then we have to subtract the flash steps, and then we're gonna set the last flash to the current time. And then we're gonna also make the GUI display the correct amount of. Oh, I forgot to name this, but I would name this something like flash steps, so you know like what it displays. So flash steps dot text equals, and then what you want it to display. So mine's just gonna say flash steps, and then it'll correspond with the number of flash steps you have left. And then we're gonna set the humanoid walk speed. Ooh, I cannot type. We're gonna set the humanoid's walk speed to the walk speed that you want the flash step to go. So mine's gonna go at 100. And then I'm gonna wait 0.2 seconds. Oh, the right wait. And then we're gonna set everything back. Base speed, and then cooldown equals false. So now in between here, we need to actually do the flash step effects and stuff. So I'm gonna make a function, and I'm just gonna call it flash step, right? And it's gonna take a couple things. It's gonna take the position, and then the humanoid root part, and yep. So since our player has a face, right, we wanna make the entire player's body invisible, so we have to set the face to be transparent, so you don't see like a floating face running around. And after that, we're going to basically loop through the parts within the character, make a clone of it so it looks like a shadow, and then give it a couple like colors and materials, and we'll parent it. Oh yeah, add a folder in your workspace called effects. I forgot to do that, but this is what's gonna store all of the effects, right? And then it'll go transparent in 0.3 seconds, and it'll only last for 0.3 seconds, so then it'll auto remove itself after 0.3 seconds. And then we set the part, the player part, to be its transparency +1, so it'll go fully transparent. Now obviously after 0.2 seconds, or the amount of time your flash step takes, we're going to need to revert all of that and create a new like what do you call it, after image. And then we're also gonna make a smoke, the little, like, if you watch the showcase, you can see like the little smoke ring or dust ring that appears. So we're gonna add that as well. So after the flash step, And then while all of this is happening, we're also going to create the flash step effect and the little wind ring effect. So here's how it looks. And then after that 0.6 seconds, after the 0.2 seconds actually, we're gonna want to you know what, we can move this above here. Yeah, move all of that above there. And then right here, we're gonna make the smoke disable, and then the flash step also disable. And then after 0.6 seconds, we're gonna destroy both of those. So all of it should be destroyed after this. And then we go back here, and we're gonna wanna run the flash step, right? So flash step, and we're gonna give it a position, which we're gonna do root's position, your character's root position, and we're gonna send the root. And now we are also gonna use our remote. So we're gonna fire server, and we're gonna send the same things. And then root. So once we send it to the server, we're basically gonna tell all the other clients to also create this effect, do the flash step effect. So here's like the code. It's really fast. Basically all it does is once it detects that the player, the flash step remote being fired, it'll tell all the clients other than your player some information. And so we need somewhere to receive that information, right? So we go back to our local script, and once we receive that information, we do the flash step. So here, if you guys didn't catch it fully, you guys can copy that down. And here it is. So you would detect when the server tells you stuff, and then once it tells you something, you do the flash step effect. Okay, so now when we run it, you should be able to flash step. See, you can do the flash step effect, but as you can see, the flash steps don't come back. So after 4 flash steps, we're out. So how can we fix that? So here's basically how I would do it. I just put like a while loop, and every 1 second it'll check if the time between the current time and the last time you used the flash step is greater than 1. If it's greater than 1, it means like more than 1 second has passed, and that means it'll add your flash steps. And otherwise, if the flash steps is going to exceed the total flash steps, then it's just going to equal your total flash steps, so it doesn't go over. Now let's run this, and it should work. See, after 1 second, it'll be back, and we can use it 4 times, and it'll come back 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, looks pretty cool, and it does work on the server, so you can test that with like a friend or something. It's kind of hard for me to show you. And the benefit, so some people were saying in my Discord that I never did it on server, and so that only one player would be able to see this, but that's not true, because I'm firing it, I'm sending the information back to the client, so then the client renders the effect. So every single player in the game will render the effect on their own. It'll render the effect for every other players and its own player. So all the effects are being rendered by the client, and this is beneficial because it's more performant and it doesn't like use as much server memory. So yeah, that's the plus side. So yeah, you guys can check it out. During this, you move a lot faster. See, I'm moving slow. Click it, go fast, and then it'll do the after images too. So yeah, in my opinion, it looks pretty cool. Yep. So if you guys like this tutorial and you want to see like more tutorials just like it, make sure you guys like, subscribe, you know, leave a comment on what you want to see next, and yeah, that'll really help out the channel. We're at 1.3k subscribers. if we can hit 1.5k by the end of this month, I don't know, I might release a special video, you know? Some people are requesting the combat tutorial, you know, I might make something like that. It's not gonna be exactly like it, but it'll be somewhere like that. And people are also asking me for the Discord. So I don't have a Discord server specifically for myself, but if you guys want to DM me any questions or anything, you can join my current project's Discord. It's called Shinobi Uprising. It's a Naruto game. If you guys join that server, you should be able to DM me. Don't like ask your questions in that server, obviously. Just join the server and then DM me, and then I'll try to get to your questions and I'll try to help you out. I should be available around the time of this upload usually. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you.